this is about actually dealing with where men and women are in a way that works. And that if there's anything in here that you've heard that you've taken, like, I've meant no harm to men or women or myself. I love women and I love relationship, and I know that we're meant to be together, and I know we're meant to balance each other, and I know how good it can be because it's been that good for me. Having it be sustainable is yet another thing. And I think we need to evolve. We need to evolve this conversation. I think this is a really good start to be able, like, I would like this to start conversations, start dialogues between men and women and eventually men and women. And this is a starting point. And if there's anything in this conversation that you've resonated with and that you want clarity on, or that you want to encourage, or that you have your own bits to add to it, please do. And if you have a problem with it, anything that's going on here, well, please tell us what it is. But, keep it short. Because it really is, like, you come from a place of, like, making it work and people being whole.
Yeah.
And people feeling the greatness that they are, and women feeling the goddess that they are, and men being able to appreciate, enjoy the goddess that they are, and reflect that back to them. Women get to enjoy men enjoying them.
Yes.
It's a beautiful
beautiful
exchange.
things is to be seen. Women wants to be seen.
I was told.
And yet when they complain.
Well,
you see?
but they need education. Is that you're absolutely right. Is that I think that when people are complaining about other people, is that they're looking from their wounded self and
Yes.
complaining about somebody else's wounded self. And anytime somebody's looking from their higher self and looking at somebody else's wounded self, it comes from a place of, well, they don't know any better, and that's where they are. I'm not going to judge them based on that they have a wound. I'm going to actually look to see what is I can actually do to be able to help them with that wound. So both men and women, the ones that are evolved, need to be that conduit for men and for women, so that we can actually lift each other and see each other. And that's it's not starting from toxic. It's starting from that we're just missing each other. And
yes,
there's
that's a beautiful way to say.
There's an absolute beauty in what man-woman is, and men on their own and women on their own. And that let's enter into that conversation. It's a dialogue. It's an inquiry. Absolutely nobody has the answers.
Yeah.
We're evolving. We're gonna create new answers, and it's gonna be wobbly. And there's pain, and that needs to be anger.
Is the accountability, but then it's okay. We'll suffer a little bit, and we have to see that under the anger there is pain.
Yes.
There is sadness. But I think when we go into toxicities because we feel someone is taking something away from us.
Yes.
When in reality,
when nobody could.
Yeah, when no one can. It's like you say, it's the wounded looking at the wounded. And if you accept that I'm wounded and I can feel my pain and take responsibility for it, then I can turn it around and aim for wholesomeness. And then on the other side, there is another potential totality if I have the eyes to see it. And it's like this, when you see someone that is attracted to ourselves, is to recognize that the attraction is beauty. It's a gift. And if I can't see in that beauty, it's because I have the wound inside.
Well, there's so much more we can appreciate. Virtually, the only relationships that are really the powerful ones are our partners and our lovers. And those are the important relationships where we have the most love and the most appreciation. Or supposed to, or we did at one time.
Yeah.
But really being able to change the relationship between men and women, where we can be appreciative and show who we are, and have lower levels of being able to be appreciated in deep ways, where it's appropriate in public to be kind to a woman. There's women where I've opened the door for, and they were so disregarding that I wished I could go back in time and close the door a little bit. And then there's the women that are just so, there's the ones that are gracious, and that's enough. And then there's the ones that there's just an elegance where they actually leave a snippet of their goddess with you. That you can reflect that back to them. And there's an honoring that when they honor you of what you did, and that there's just an automatic honoring back that raises everybody's frequency and elevates who you are in that day. And who you are maybe forever.
Yes.
I mean, that's what I'm looking at creating.
And that is the beauty now of being with each other, that you meet another human being and elevates who you are forever. It leaves that trail of poetry. That's, I think, is the true art of being alive. And it always comes from personal completion. You can open the door for a woman if she feels total. That's a beautiful gift you do for her. If she feels unfinished and weak, she's gonna project it on you. Oh, you think I'm weak. You think I can't open
I've
my
never
door.
really understood that one.
You know?
I opened the door for you, and I did it because you're weak. That didn't even cross my mind.
But because it's what they think.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
I understand.
So
but it's...
I become a sexual object. I choose that. Instead of being a sexual subject, if it's the same thing. If a man is an erection in my present and I'm my sexual subject, of course, I can't blame you. I'm amazing. Of course, you're gonna respond to me, and I would say, "Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate you appreciating me."
Yeah.
But if I decide I'm an object, then I will throw it on you and blame you for having that same response. Can be so embarrassing and so belittling of me.
I think that
It's always depend where we come from.
It points to the work that needs to be done, is that we've touched on so many different things, and there's so much to actually do. And it really is just the willingness to actually go, okay, maybe we need to drop, anger and weapons and chastising, and that the entire gender is wrong from the get-go, and actually go, well, maybe, the ones that can appreciate men and the ones that can appreciate women, and start the conversation amongst us and include more and more people into it. Like, there's a dialogue that needs to occur. And the sooner the better, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
how do you want to wrap this up? It is beautiful.
I think what you just say is like this: have the conversation where we enhance the richness of who we are, instead of going to look where we're going wrong.
Yes.
And I think that's where we come from. The history, it's out of fear, and so fear wants to blame and point finger and blame it onto someone else. And I think the evolution now is to stop being afraid and to embrace more of the richness we all have, and start the conversation there, and then we our life would respond with that. The more conversation where we are praising each other.
Where are we going with this? Are we going to open this up to people who are interested in that conversation, or are we going to keep doing just podcasts, or are we going to do groups of people that are interested in the conversation? Or I guess we should wait to see what kind of response the people that are interested. How do you feel about that?
I don't know.
You don't know? I guess we'll just see.
We'll just
and
see.
just because we didn't do it in the beginning. So who are you? What is your name and what do you do?
My name is Valentina Leo, and I'm a human being. I'm a lover. And this is a big part of the conversation. Who are we? I don't want to be the expert on anything. I'm just I'm a human being, But I work with Tantra. I love the philosophy of Tantrism, and that's why I look at reality from that lens. So I guess makes my perspective of life very specific. And Tantrism look at wholesomeness. Where can we be full human being celebrating ourselves instead of taking each other down? How can we use each other to uplift each other out so that we can live in a world that is a celebration of being human?
I live here.
You live in this world.
I live in this world.
We're
some improvements that I think we need to make.
That's why we're having this conversation together,
Well, I'm Brian McDonnell, and I'm a human, and I want things to be better. It started off with me feeling that there had to be more to life than what was being presented to me, and that happened in my teens. And very quickly I started, if you're looking for more, you'll find it. And I found more in all kinds of, it's been several decades of, once I realized what transformation was, and once I realized what the possibility of what it was to be human, and how we were living and how I was living, my life has been about making that better in a lot of different ways. I've had a lot of disciplines and ways that I actually presented that to the world. And this is one that's close to my heart, is man, woman. Frankly, if there was no women on this planet, I wouldn't want to be here.
I'm totally with you.
I
love men.
If
there wouldn't be men on this planet, it would be so boring to be just amongst women.
Well,
It's so essential that we have this polarity is what creates the beautiful dance of life. In Tantrism, the tantric texts are depicted by a conversation of a man and a woman coming together in lovemaking and separating out of lovemaking for the sake of conversation. And I love this symbology because it says it all for me. We need each other to enrich our presence in this world, to love the conversation that we are having. And lovemaking is another conversation, it's the conversation of the body.
All of it can be lovemaking.
Yes,
all the man
exactly.
woman can be enriching and can be giving to the other, and there's a dance that actually occurs to it where everybody learns and everybody grows, and growth doesn't happen in a vacuum. There's anger and bad things that actually occur and pain that happens that we have the answers for each other. And it's beyond our understanding. I didn't create masculine, I didn't create feminine, and everything else in this planet is interconnected in such a beautiful way. How can we be different?
Yeah.
So, and let's explore that. So
Yeah.
I'm interested in having more conversations like this with you. We can include other people. We maybe will interview ourselves or each other, or have people interview us. Maybe this will grow into groups. I don't know. But it's really, I just needed to have the conversation, and let's see what occurs.
Let's see what happens.
Thank you very much for
Thank
actually
you.
coming here and being willing to do this with me.
Yeah.
And I know how much knowledge you have and how hard you've worked in your life, and appreciate you wholly and completely. That's a close.